In this segment of the bullet writing class, we will cover some items to remember and errors to avoid to ensure you are successfully highlighting your airman's accomplishments. The goal of this segment is to emphasize the importance of knowing the form you are using and some editing techniques. One of the other things that you need to know about when you're getting started is you have to know which form you're using and what is required on that form. If you're writing an awards package and it's for an annual award, it's important to know what those headings are and also what's the minimum amount of bullets that you want on that form. On your EPRs, it's great because each section will tell you exactly what's supposed to be on there, and so they really made it easy for you. But this is also an easy way to get things kicked back if you don't follow the correct procedures. And then editing. You want to read this, read it again, and then guess what? Read it again. And even maybe give someone else to read it, right? We have somebody else look at it with a fresh set of eyes. Maybe they have other opportunities where they have been able to go through different EPRs or 1206s, and they can give you that feedback. One of the tricks that I've learned is that you read it backwards, and so it tricks your brain into thinking it's reading a new document. And as always, go back to your resources. You have the tongue and quill. You have this writing guide. Feel free to use those in order to make sure that you're catching any of those other errors that might get it kicked back. And when you're writing, it's very important to think about how are you catching that reader's attention. If this is an awards package and you have one of these units that has great people all around it, they may not have a whole lot of time to look through those packages. And so you want to catch that reader's attention, the most important and impactful bullets up top, and then as it goes down, it breaks down into the various levels. And also using positive words and phrases. Later on in a couple of examples, we can talk about what makes it a positive phrase. But when a reader reads it and they feel good about it, it makes it more impactful. Just a few errors to avoid when we're going over it is that we're not embellishing. This is where we're sticking to those core values and we're looking back on what integrity really means. You got to do it on paper. If you're walking the walk, you're talking the talk. Also that it's not too long and it's to the point, keeping it down to one line, fitting all of that information that you can in there. And that it's not too vague. You know, I've seen a bullet where it says, you know, great mentor, loves their airmen. Like that was a bullet that you're submitting? Like that is not telling us any information about what this airman did or why they care about him or what they're doing to mentor them. And it's really about those tangible items. And then for this particular one, we're going to do the 3-BART bullet. And that's when we're looking at the action, impact, and result. And we'll break that down here for you. And again, the improperly categorized, making sure that it matches what's going on in that form. So let's extract the facts. So we're gathering up all that information, using what's ever available for you. What's one of the tools we talked about?
MyVector.
MyVector, that's right. Using it, you're able to get it in a PDF, and you've got it all from the subordinate. They're able to help you. And as you're gathering it, you want to collect it. Collect it all. Don't throw or discard anything out. You never know. Especially with our drill status guardsmen, when we're looking at a 2-year time period, or maybe a deployment or an exercise or something that they're going on, it all sits there and fits into that big picture. So we want to grab all those pieces. You may have even on the active duty component where you're being fapped out to help out in another organization, you get a Form 77, plop that in there and make sure that it doesn't get lost as well. And so we want to consider how that we're gathering all this information. And then as we're writing it, we want to make sure that we are using each bullet is for a specific action and specific information, right? We want to go in and that each one has its own timeline that's going across. We're using these action verbs. When we go through some of our scenarios, it's really important to pay attention to the rank that's in these scenarios. Because if we're talking about that individual and we're trying to highlight their accomplishments, what does the little brown book tell us that that airman should be doing? And are we writing to that level to really highlight their accomplishments? And then linking it all together. Always thinking about the big picture. When we look at what our Air National Guard, Air Force Reserves, and active duty need from us, is our everyday finance individual understanding how they're impacting it, other than if you don't pay me, I get mad at you, right? Or if you lose my shot record in the medical field, yo, I'm in big trouble. No, there's mission readiness and accomplishments that are attached to everything that we do.